Alright, so now we're in season 5, episode 10, right? The finale. And I thought it was going to be sort of, it said an hour, but it is an hour or so. But I thought it was going to be a massive story. Either way, let's just get started. And, it's pretty much everything. It was, again, right now, I know that it's not muted, so hopefully I won't have that problem. Alright, let's begin. Chapter 13, a wing and a prayer.
It's the Crow Man!
I love this.
Give it a second. Maybe he's taking it out to surrender.
He's anti-heroic!
That was so clean.
I don't understand.
He's only one man. With the power of 1,000 crows. Good luck.
Crows and owls have always been at war. But why do you care? What's the point?
Can
Here's
we
two.
check that? Is there like an ecology or something that can check it?
Yeah, cool. Morty,
Yes, that very glossy
good to see you.
finish.
You're like looking like into crows.
Or maybe
Still.
that's just my
Oh,
monitor.
two crows. You
Maybe
remember
that's
Morty?
just giving out.
Morty, two crows. It's good to see you, but you'd given me more of a heads up. Well, I was just in the neighborhood. It wasn't like, it's just that the battle for crows is kind of never ending. Huh, right. A little pointless then, right? That came out
So-
wrong. Sounded judgy.
He's very samurai.
Okay.
It's like a weird samurai cowboy
they're
mix.
leading you to the thing.
Both existed around the same time, yeah.
You too. I'm doing good, by the way. Oh, my dad was gonna eat that yogurt you left in the fridge, but I told him.
So now we're getting an anime OP. Yes, this is great. But this is a little bit too soft. It's overly cool. It's like one that you expect from maybe Slice of Life or even shonen stuff isn't as... Wait a second. This is definitely has Vampire Hunter D vibes all over it. The crow looks like his robotic horse.
I'm looking for
The hat.
crow scare.
Yeah, definitely. This is definitely
Scarecrow,
like Vampire
evil
Hunter
Scarecrow.
D.
Come on, whoever gives him up first lives. Fine,
Also,
I can kill
Rick's
an extra
gray, so
asshole.
he's
Helps me get my steps in.
so that very fits it. Also, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust is amazing. Of course. Alright, maybe they got around to watching it. Though they made it more Theater Japan.
Morty, why are you now like 40? That's how long it's been, Rick. Oh,
Wait,
guess we can have a drink together.
goes in when it's
Do you have,
raining,
rum and Coke?
and his
20?
sword is
Oh,
very
bless your heart.
oversized.
Time be going by, don't
Vampire
you?
Hunter
That's
D's
your
sword's
reaction to finding
pretty
out you wasted
thin,
your entire life? I feel okay.
so
Well, what about
instantly
me?
this
Whoa.
part
Excuse us, boys.
looks
You don't
like
wanna be
that
here for
opening
this.
from Berserk,
Well, if I
actually.
gave you enough space, you'd outgrow
Very,
this
very cool.
phase.
So they
Here's your
mashed.
drink, poser.
We knew that.
Dad got sick, you know. Stage
so,
4.
we knew that they're
Grew up in-
definitely
so was a
having
nurse. Well,
drawing from anime.
pretty
So
much a nurse. She married a junkie.
right. So
Rick,
there's
come home.
There's definitely
Well,
some
we still
Vampire
got a
Hunter
little
D
time.
because
Morty,
again
what
that's
we
sort
had
of a
wasn't
very
healthy. And this is-
cowboy-esque
you've had 1,000
part.
adventures with these crows. When are you gonna kill their
Western,
big bad?
right?
First off, the will they,
And
kill
then
they is everything to my
when
guys.
he
And second,
when it
fuck you
goes
for trying to
in when
undermine
it's
my
pouring,
happiness. Maybe the
that
last
part
time
was
you ever laid
definitely
eyes on me.
berserked.
I hope that's not true, Morty. Because you look like shit.
Yeah,
and
the
this is not
sword.
how I wanna
It's not
remember
as
you.
long, but it has that sort of butchery cleaver. So they made it more. All right, those are so very variation sounding.
Now that I have his two crows, nothing will stop me from eliminating Crow Rick. Don't defend him to me. I don't even get what you see in him. You're right. We should be enjoying the time we have together.
Crow Rick! Oh, I know what this must look like, but
It looks like my arch nemesis Crow Scare and my sidekick planning adventures together.
you are hardly the victim here. I was adventuring with these two crows before you ever came along.
3 toothbrushes.
What do you mean using me as a rebound? Feel like I was using you as a rebound too? Well, shit. This lost
Well,
on me.
yes.
Guess it could have been worse. At least adventuring was just a metaphor for romantic partnership, so it's not a real breakup.
Speak for yourself. We immensely enjoy each other's bodies.
What? Oh, no.
Sounds like the man's asking for proof. Let's show him, fellas.
I asked for zero
you
proof.
dirty
Zero
birds.
proof.
Well, that was a neat montage.
Giving you free will.
Well, not montage. Homage. There was a neat homage.
Whoops. Rick? Wubba-lubba-dub-dub. I'm back, pal.
Morty, who's at the door?
Wait a minute. I thought you died gruesomely. What the hell's going on here? See, the thing is...
Oh no,
Please make
Morty.
Morty 14 again, Dad. This is ridiculous.
What
Okay,
happened?
look, I may... Is that normal? Probably. Sign here for storage or disposal of the 26 years we removed. Wait, what? I ain't paying to store 26 years. Well, then you're taking it with you. I'm almost ready to sell out. All right, what's the disposal cost? Oh, yeah, you were influential. You had like seven blogs. Tight.
7 blocks?
Too late. Rick C-137, President Morty, Evil Rick. We kicked his ass. Evil
Stanley
Rick. I love
Rick.
it. Smartest man in the universe, with an ego so big you can just grab it like a joystick. Looks complete. Was afraid I'd have to kill every Rick on the Citadel to get what I needed. Want to see? You already know rogue Ricks used Mortys to hide themselves from the Citadel. But you might not know it worked so well that the Citadel became its own Morty market. And I'm sure you don't know how far they've gone to help supply meet demand. Sure, Ricks could scour infinity for naturally occurring grandsons, but why bother? So much work, such an admission of need. There aren't infinite versions of our grandfather Morty. He's an infinite smear of one shitty old man. And he's attached to us infinitely through his weakness and our forgiveness. This is why we're with him. This is why we're alive. What the fuck? Rick, say this isn't true. It isn't the whole truth. Liar. Did you refill this gun? Yeah. Oh. Holy shit! I only know one man that ever hacked my portal gun, and it turned out it was evil you. Yay! He's all caught up. Wait, hold it! Who's that? Time for big boy. Duck! Does he like it? It's a metaphor for capitalism, Morty. What do you think? Yoink. You can't outrun your past, Rick. Times like these, I think it's important for me to say, eat shit, fuck you. The drug companies paid for me to say every word. I have millions of dollars, and I don't care if you live... Oh, God, oh, fuck, no, no! And I'd just like to say that prescription drugs are great, and you should buy them now. What's happening, Rick? You want to jump the shark? You want to know my stupid crybaby backstory? Knock yourself out. Not now!
Oh yeah, blue pants. Oh, I love the synth again. They're using the synth version. So is he looking for himself again? I love that they brought back the synth. And of course the bird person, of course, right. They brought back the synth, so they had to bring back bird person just to be on more on the nose. Yep, it just completely worked that way.
Seen all that? Of course that's the case. In their minds, they're the underdog. And that's how they justify this. Morty, I'm not responsible for every fucked up Rick out there. They literally all say that. They all have that excuse. It's part of their system. None of them have to be responsible. They're all victims of themselves. Oh, it's so hard to be a genius. Couldn't you just die? What are you doing about it? Jack shit. I'm leaving. Do you know what the central finite curve is? They built a wall around infinity. They separated all the infinite universes from all the infinite universes where he's the smartest man in the universe. Every version of us has spent every version of all of our lives in one infinite crib built around an infinite fucking baby. And I'm leaving it. That's what makes me evil. Being sick of him. If you've ever been sick of him, you've
Well,
been evil
that
too.
and sort of perpetuating, you know, all the other Mortys
You
and
come back because they dumped you.
causing a lot of
There
death.
you go, kid. Now you're evil Morty too.
Orchestra version of the evil Morty theme. Did he go through?
makes me wonder if there's an evil me out there. But I guess sometimes I look at my life and I may not even need them, because, well, guess I made a pretty big mess of things myself. Ooh-wee. Never got my job at the university back, but then I guess I
Ramen.
stopped. Because maybe you should try it. We don't have as much time as we think.
Alright, so that was a pretty good episode, and so Morty ended up going out of bounds in terms of the whatever realities where Rick is only the smartest man in the universe, well, for that universe. So, and of course he made one that's yellow too, because proof that it's not just related to, or rather it's not limited to just the universes where Rick's the smartest man. So pretty neat. But why would you want to just go out of bounds? I mean, sure, it's not going to be limited to Rick, but is the one that's not the smartest person of that one that's not Rick, is he still? I'm guessing it's definitely going to be different, but is he still? Wouldn't there be at least some similarities in terms of what you can do with that knowledge? Sure, you can travel between dimensions, and maybe spice up your tech and get cooler tech, etc. But not what it's not gonna be as fun again, because the reason this works is because Rick's kind of a jerk. So again, we don't know. So is even Morty gonna come back, or is he just gonna stay there exploring universes where Rick's not the smartest? And I don't know, maybe we just have to wait and see. We don't know how true that sort of foreshadowing was with the evil Morty and his army, so I guess that's not it. Alright, well, that was it. Definitely gave you a bit more questions, and I can't believe Mr. Poopy Butthole completely just now he's living like, of course, like the guy. I think looks like he got separated or divorced from his wife. You know, the the very like lonely, kind of like badly put together man after divorce, or man that's not with his wife. Like didn't end well, or now he's on his own. Man, he's completely depressed. I'm still trying to understand maybe Rick's metaphor for capitalism that he was giving out as a monster that's sort of taking all the grunt for him only to better him. And yes, it's kind of reminding me of sort of like that Recess episode, one where he sort of climbs the ladder, and it mainly involves him finding someone that's willing to work for less than what they're worth. So in that episode, I think TJ finds someone that's like a younger, like maybe half his grade or something, and he gives him like, what was it, like, it's definitely very little, it's like maybe 3, or is it 1 to 3, or it gives him like very, very little, and all he has to do is stand there and collect whatever and then give it back to him, and he only gets a very small cut of the entire thing, even though he doesn't work. Yes, kind of exploity, but I mean that is sort of how it works again, because Amazon does force their workers to do a lot of stuff, and technically it wouldn't have been what it is without them working as hard as they did. But who's reaping the benefits of that, right? It's not the workers that put in those long hours. They sort of agreed to work really hard for just a very small cut, because maybe they're not that skilled, or whatever other reasons there are for them not being able to just maybe get a better job, or whatever it is. Usually they're younger too, so again, he builds it on top of that again. So it's like you're getting the one that's working for you, and then that was it, right? So the other side monster, Rick, was taking the grunt, and then of course Rick reaps the benefits, right? Only to then all right, well then he should definitely at that point be able to pay the worker that's working for scale what they're worth. Um, and he doesn't really do that. Yeah, it seems to be pretty common. You know what? At least, wasn't it back then where companies would at least give people livable wages or something, even though they're raking up a bunch of money, but because they're actually giving them livable wages, that to live comfortably, like to have expendable income, as opposed to maybe having something that's giving them like, but some people are saying it's not even enough to get by, especially with the way the housing thing has gone up and how everyone's waiting for the price to go back down to normal, especially because what's pricey in one place still seems to be just as pricey as another place, even though, but one place is in a bad neighborhood and it's the same, maybe one bedroom as maybe a slightly better neighborhood. They're both equally priced. Well, and then in even better neighborhoods, like double that. It doesn't make sense. You would think the price would scale, but I guess everyone's waiting for that to go back again. And just because everyone could get like their mortgages right faster and the interests are lower, but that's balanced out by them needing a bigger loan as opposed to when the market is really good, but then obviously the interests are higher to counteract the smaller loan. So again his metaphor's like, oh yeah, Rick is reaping the benefits out of the hard work that it's like, oh yeah, they're enjoying like his monster version's enjoying that, but what's satisfying about maybe like especially when you're like in high school and you get like a probably the job that you could probably get that you definitely wouldn't want to work after you're done with college and stuff. It's because it's all expendable essentially, because right at that point you live at home and you don't really have expenses. So it's all expendable as opposed to later you have to make more because you have more expenses. But then that's getting into, well, they're living your parents now, and should you really be living with your parents maybe for a year or two? But it's really extending more than that after college. So again, obviously during that time that you're working like for essentially nothing, but you're essentially finally getting your own money, and that's the part that is enjoyable, even though you're definitely like doing stuff that doesn't require a lot of skill, but at least you're getting paid something. And that's probably the lower that why, oh well, no, he enjoys it. Yeah, but it's only for that time. Once you get into a better job, you're probably not gonna want to go back to, oh well, I've been working all day and it's very very exhausting work. It's really grindy, and after that you're not really doing much because you're so burned out. And yeah, but then again, you're not really reaping the benefits. You sort of agreed to work for bad pay and stuff, but maybe that's the only part that was, or maybe with the curve part. Again, I don't remember that. Why do they have to throw dialogue to? I didn't like that. Like, you could have spent a few minutes maybe trying to word that dialogue a little bit better. I have to do that thing, but they did it for a joke, so it was fine. But maybe it's not as funny. That thing with the curve, I like. Anyway, it's a lot of interesting stuff. But then again, they don't really. They could have delved maybe more into that, but then again, it probably would have aimed at people that don't really. It's just made to lightly touch on it, sort of like how sometimes it's oversimplified and stuff. But again, so you have to like delve more into it. Just sort of like the reason why everyone just recommends a mic or some settings on something without you necessarily understanding what goes into that, because it takes a long time, especially for audio being one of them. Right, so then you learn, all right, so you start off with, okay, you don't want to peak, and all right, so I'm gonna maybe take off this range and then boost that to make it sound a little bit better. go XLR for maybe because the USB mics, you know, it's definitely some staticky stuff, and but even then it involves, oh, now you gotta get this other gear, and now you gotta worry about digital stuff because again the computer's digital, and a lot of audio equipment is still very analog because of the sine wave, right? It's a perfect wave, and you have to try and replicate that with just like how you would in calc. Right, so all right. Either way, I think I might be starting to ramble, but again, some just how it all connects, and right, this, but maybe they could have touched on it, but maybe they didn't have time, or maybe to avoid alienating people. All right, so I think I'm gonna call it there. Again, you know, I'm starting to really work up a sweat because everything's it's very hot, and all the fans in AC are off. So, all right, so I hope I definitely get to work on this very, very soon, and I'll see you in the next one. I've recorded some stuff too, so I don't know when I'll get around to editing this up. I know Rick and Morty, I try to edit it as soon as I can. All right, anyway, see you in the next one.